First tonight, the results of the most significant inquiry yet into one of Britain's most controversial rail projects. Plans to build a high-speed line from London to the Midlands through the Chilterns have been backed by a group of influential MPs. The Transport Select Committee says HS2 offers potential economic and strategic benefits, and it may also help to bridge the north-south divide. But there are many caveats. The committee warns the line may have a substantial negative impact on countryside and communities along the route. It's also questioned aspects of the chosen route and the government's wider transport strategy. Jeremy Stern reports.
Plans for a high-speed rail network have divided opinion, but both sides claim they have the backing of a group of MPs who've written a detailed report on HS2. Those in favour point to the committee's support of the trains.
High-speed rail is essential to deliver increased capacity and better connectivity between our major cities and indeed in links to the European continent. We need that increase in capacity, and that can't be delivered any other way.
Those against the plan say Oxfordshire and Buckinghamshire countryside will be lost forever. They point to the committee's concerns, in particular the economic benefit.
The report also looks at the route for HS2. This is the M40, which runs from London to Birmingham. Committee members want to know why there hasn't been more discussion about running the rail line alongside the motorway. They say perhaps this is a way to reduce the impact on the environment.
Campaign groups say this leaves plans for HS2 in tatters.
There are some damning criticisms in the body of the report which really destroy the case for HS2 and essentially ask the Department for Transport to go back to the drawing board. What we need to look at is what is in the overall national interest, and this is not. There are better alternatives.
In what's becoming an increasingly heated debate, the committee's final wish is that both sides respect each other. Jeremy Stern, BBC Oxford News.
A little earlier I spoke to our transport correspondent Peter Plisner. He told me how significant today's report was.
Well, this is an influential group of MPs after all, and they do tackle quite controversial subjects, hence the reason they're looking at HS2. Now, governments do have to listen to what these groups of MPs actually say, and I have to say the government here will probably be pleased with the outcome because effectively this is a yes to HS2 but with caveats, and of course those caveats are a whole series of recommendations and requests for further information, and those requests will probably please those opposed to HS2 because it's just the sort of requests and arguments they've been putting across when they've actually been opposing the scheme.
What chance is there of the government changing its plans based on the MP's recommendations?
Well, the government has to respond to these recommendations, but they don't actually have to fully act on them. But if they choose to ignore them, then in the press ahead with the scheme, then if something goes wrong later, the committee can haul government ministers back in to ask why they ignored their recommendations. But they do have to respond, and those responses sometimes can take several months.
Will any of this affect the government's current timetable for HS2?
Well, it's difficult to say, but it seems most likely the government will press ahead, which means that we'll get the results of that big consultation held in the summer coming out next month. But I have to say, if the government was looking for an excuse to delay, then this report published today could give them that excuse.
Peter, thank you.